Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about Saturn turning retrograde. And it will turn retrograde on July 26th, and it will be at 20 degrees of Pisces. And yes, I'm a sidereal Vedic astrologer. I am not talking about the Western tropical placements. So whenever a planet turns retrograde, and Saturn will turn retrograde approximately, well, it will stay retrograde for about 5 months, but it basically usually turns retrograde about once a year, and then it will turn direct around 5 months or so later. But the day that, the time, the month, around the time that it turns retrograde, it's a huge big deal. It's stationing, it's standing still. And therefore, whatever it represents, it is dominating that time period. So around, really, it's going to be most of the month of July that we're going to feel this sense of Saturn more intensely than ever. Okay, before I get going, I want to remind everyone, sign up for my free newsletter. Go to galacticcenter.org. But more than anything, I'm going to make this short. You guys have to try my new planner. It is an app now, and it has been renovated like no planner ever before. It takes your chart and calculates all of the transits, everything that's happening to you daily. But the better proponent of this is you can ask it anything about your chart, and the planner will tell you anything. When you're going to meet someone, when you're coming into money, when should you travel. You ask it for the time frames. The planner will calculate everything and give you your answer, even verbally. So you've got to try my planner. It is amazing. We have worked so hard, and it uses all of my information from not only my website, all of my books and my university. So it is going to give you the most accurate possible answers based on astrology. Okay, so go to galacticplanner.com or find it on the App Store, Galactic Planner. You are going to be amazed. All right, so continuing on with Saturn. What does Saturn represent? What does it rule? Saturn rules everything to do with discipline and most of all responsibility, because Saturn rules reality. What is real? This is Saturn. And it causes people to have to wake up to what is real. And sometimes that's a shocker, because people like to stay in a delusional state many times. So this is a time also when people that have been doing things that are wrong are going to have to pay the consequences. Why? Saturn is karma. And you might wonder, how are these people getting away with this? You know, all the corruption, the cheating, and everything that people do out there in the world more commonly than usual. Why do they get away with it? They won't. Saturn will create the consequences, and they have to wake up to the reality of what they've done. And you know what's really interesting for a lot of people out there? When people do lie, cheat, or do things that they pretty much know they shouldn't, they somehow justify it and convince themselves in their mind that it's okay. Oh, I can steal this over here because they're really rich. Stuff like that. That kind of mental, you know, it's okay. Or even killing people because the people that they kill work for a company that they feel is corrupt and stealing. Whatever, people justify things is what I'm trying to say, to where they feel like they're right, when really and truly they're not. Saturn takes care of this. And it's not our place to judge anyone with this, because Saturn does it. Saturn is reality and it's truth. And it's like, it's been said, truth or consequences. This is Saturn. So I want you to know that nobody gets away with anything. Sometimes it takes a heck of a lot longer than what we would want it to, because most of us like to see justice prevail, right? Saturn does it for us. Don't you worry. And for the most part, most of us, if we feel like things have not been just in our personal relationships and with friends or people, that's where it hits us the hardest. But Saturn will take care of things. You don't have to worry about what's just, what's not just. That's what Saturn does. It's karma. And what is karma? Karma is essentially the law of cause and effect. So what does that mean? It means what is put out is met with equal force. So that's cause and effect. That's actually the law of relativity, but it is Saturn, karma. Now let's talk about Saturn being in Pisces, because Pisces deals with the oceans, the waters, the storms. And Saturn, as it stations here in this sign, can drum up a lot of hostility in the oceans and storms. And the other thing is, there has been so much going on in these waterways. You know, the Strait of Hormuz, all of that. Saturn in Pisces represents things have been stalled. Saturn is bringing things to a stop. Saturn is delays, setbacks, endings, death. So when it's talking about the oceans, there's been all of this turmoil in certain oceans that have been a problem. Saturn will bring this to a head when it stations. Okay, another thing is being in Pisces. Pisces deals with beliefs. As a matter of fact, the sign Pisces has said, I believe. All the signs have a quote that is so representative of what that sign is. I think they're quite meaningful, such as Aries is I am, Taurus is I have, Gemini is I think, Cancer is I feel, Leo is I will, and let's see, Virgo is I analyze, Scorpio is I desire or I want, Sagittarius is I aspire, Capricorn is I utilize, and Pisces is I believe. It deals with beliefs and how we believe in things. And therefore, so many people are caught up in disbelief about things, or they believe illusionary things, or they're controlled by cults. And I think so many, just really everything out there in the media is like controlling our minds. So Pisces, with Saturn being there, will open up and make realization about what we've been believing and the reality and the truth of this. This is fascinating to think about. Beliefs. Saturn, as it was with Neptune, and Neptune still in the sign of Pisces, deals with bringing to the forefront the truth about cults and brainwashing and beliefs. And you might think of cults as only a religion. No, it can deal with brainwashing, period. And with Saturn stationing, I believe a lot of the awareness will wake up from how we've been being brainwashed. essentially, and what we believe. And yes, there will be a lot going on concerning beliefs in religions coming to a halt and an opening to see what we have been brainwashed with. That's true. And Pisces is also the sign that deals with what's beyond this world. It is the 12th sign, and it deals with space and endings and what's beyond this world. Therefore, Saturn being in Pisces will have us more aware of what is beyond our world in space. We will learn so much more. Saturn is awareness and bringing things to reality, and we will know the truths about what's out in space, as well as learn more about space travel and what's out there, life out there, planets out there, new discoveries. Saturn is the work that needs to be done. Saturn is not all bad. Saturn is a powerful planet for our higher learning our lessons. That's what we're here for. And that's what Saturn will teach us. And most of us learn lessons the hard way. It's okay as long as we learn. Saturn is that planet of learning hard knocks of life, maturity, growing up. Everyone talks about that Saturn return, when Saturn comes back to where it was when you were born, every 28 to 30 years. So we have our Saturn return around age 28 or 30, around 58 or 60, around 90. So what does that deal with? It deals with becoming more mature, waking up to another level of our life. That's Saturn. Saturn is the great teacher of all. And it is the teacher of reality and what we don't want to face, which can be and is the truth. This is Saturn. And this July, we're going to all wake up to some new realities and truths and be aware. And Saturn is part of the process. Now, if you have any planets around 20 degrees of Pisces or Virgo, or let's see Pisces, Aries, Taurus, because it'll be in its full third aspect. And or if you have any planets around 20 degrees of Sagittarius, Saturn's aspecting by its full 10th aspect. You might have some delays, some setbacks, and some major lessons to learn. It's not easy. Saturn transits have never been easy. But they are the most meaningful because they teach us what we need to know. This is Saturn. And Saturn always gives what we deserve. So if you've worked hard, if you've been diligent, if you've been persistent, if you've been disciplined, you will be rewarded with Saturn transits. And Saturn is the great achiever. What we've earned through hard work and time and discipline are the best rewards because we appreciate them the most. So that is my little dissertation on Saturn and what we can expect and what it's going to bring into our lives. So remember, if you want to learn more about me, if you want to get my app, go to my website, galacticcenter.org, and go to the App Store and try out my new app, Galactic Planner. Thank you.